beautiful souls. Welcome to your messages for the week. These are your messages for the week beginning Sunday, the 25th of June, 2023. Doing it a little bit pre-recorded because I've got a busy weekend. I was just trying to work out what the date was. Okay, brilliant. So we're coming. Oh, I love it when they start falling out as soon as I've pressed record. So we're kind of coming into the last week of June, which has been intense energetically, but all in a good way. When you get to a certain level of understanding and you realize that the universe is working for you, and you realize that the name of the game is to raise your frequency, then you can see everything as being a positive benefit. I was going to say a benefit in your life, but there's lots of energy coming in, and a lot of people are feeling more tired than usual, kind of sometimes really exhausted. And of course, if you're busy carrying on working a full-time job or looking after the kids and everything, that tiredness can manifest as rattiness and moodiness. So don't worry if that's how you're feeling, but this tiredness, we do need to rest more. I think we do need to rest more, because what's happening is the cells of our body are desperately trying to integrate the light that's coming in. And so we need to honor ourselves. And give ourselves more time out. Get rid of this kind of really super over-independent martyr kind of attitude of I can soldier on. That's the way a lot of us were brought up. I know I was brought up like that, and especially spending so long as a school teacher, where although you get long school holidays, I understand, but when you're actually in the term time, you can't take any time off. And there's this constant, I can do it. I can push myself. I'm as sick as a dog, but I can keep going. That's not serving us. I just want to say that's never served us. I've had many a time when I just knew that my body wanted like 24 hours, maybe 48 hours downtime, chill time. And I knew that if I could get it, then that would get me back up to where I needed to be. But because you can't take a day off like, oh, I'm just feeling a bit tired, you're frowned upon if you take a day off like that. And so then what happens is you just get more and more overtired until you just get sicker and sicker and sicker, and then you end up taking 3, 4, 5 days off. So I've always thought of that as being counterintuitive. And this whole concept, if you're an employee, of having to prove how sick you are, that's kind of a bit weird as well. But it's definitely important to honor your downtime, and we need to sleep and rest a lot more, I think, than we were brought up to believe, especially at this stage where the energies are so intense. Wasn't expecting to say that, so there must be some relevance to it, probably for me too. So it came to me, so I said it. If you haven't already seen the messages for the month of June, there is a link in the description. I will put the video in the end screen. So what does your soul want you to know? That's a good video to check out in the last week of June. Anything else I want to mention? Yes, my next Heal Yourself online course is starting in July. I'll put a link in the description to that as well, and the video in the end screen. That is all about basically when you understand. Actually, I'm going to just share my screen a little bit because I think it will be relevant. When you understand that, can you see that? We're multidimensional energy bodies, and not just the physical, right? And we have this, if you look at the bottom of here, you'll see we have an emotional body and we have a mental body. In the emotional body are our emotions, believe it or not. And in our mental body, we house our mental processes, which are our thoughts, our beliefs, our ideas, our opinions, things like that. Now, we can't see these energy bodies, but we know that emotions exist. We know that our thought processes exist, and they're actually what's guiding us. What's creating our reality is the frequency of our emotions and our thoughts. And when you understand that, you understand the importance of raising your frequency, which means releasing those negative emotions, any emotions that are keeping you in a state of contraction, and any beliefs that are making you feel fearful or not fulfilling yourself in some way, those limiting beliefs. So these are the things that we really need to master if we are going to be able to access. And if you see the astral body, etheric template, celestial body, etc., etc., these are our fifth dimensional energy bodies, and there's more, but we're just dealing with these for now. If you want to access fifth dimensional levels of consciousness, then it makes sense that you have got to master your emotions and master your thoughts. And that's one of the things that I do on the online course is we use the emotion code. I share the emotion code, which is a very, very powerful self-healing technique, which you can learn yourself. That's what we do. And that releases those low frequency emotions. And I also use brain integration activities, and I teach other self-healing techniques to help you think or detach from your thoughts, detaching from your thoughts, but at least to look at life from a different perspective, look at situations, the situations in your life and the people in your life that are creating this negative thought, these negative thought processes within you. Can you look at it from another level of consciousness, from a different perspective, to make those thoughts more positive so that they're higher frequency? So we look at things like that, which helps you raise your frequency, and it helps you raise your frequency through that fourth dimensional energy body, which of course is what's going to help you access your fifth dimensional energy body. And then name of the game is to act and live a life at that level of consciousness, fifth dimensional levels of consciousness, Christ level of consciousness, and to bring that level of consciousness into the physical world so that we can basically change the way we live from the way that we have been living, which a lot of us don't want to carry on with, into what we want to live with, creating heaven on earth, which a lot of us are doing right now, right here, right now. So check out that if you think you're going to be interested in that. It's a 6-week online course. Once a week is like 2.5 hour sessions on Zoom, very small groups, once a week on Wednesdays, for 6 weeks, basically. There is homework. There is homework. It's not something to take lightly. It's it takes guts to really dig deep into your healing journey. It does take guts. It takes a willingness and a courage and all those other let's see if that might be a relevant one to share as well, if I have it here. Yes, what did I just say? A willingness and courage. And look, here we have, if you could see that, this is just part of this is called the scale of consciousness. It's actually a small part of Dr. David Hawkins' map of consciousness, which for copyright reasons we can't share to more than 10 people at a time, but I do share the full map on the course. But you can see on here, I've just said a willingness and courage. And the willingness and the courage, look, you notice that they're at the level of consciousness, that's the frequency that flips you from a contracted state of suffering into an expanded state of flow. So if you're down here feeling, fearful, angry, or what have you, as soon as you get this courage to go within, this willingness to find another way, the willingness to understand new concepts, especially the concept that you are creating your reality. When you're ready to accept situations and love things as they are, understanding that that is your superpower that's going to raise not only your level of consciousness, but the level of consciousness of the collective, which is what we came here to do. I won't go on about this now, although I think I already have. But you will see a lot of this chart on the course. And we're looking at loads of different ways. So there's a number of self-healing techniques, and lots of time for shares and Q&A, and even at the end, card readings. So my objective is to make sure that everybody by the end of the course can release their own trapped emotions, can identify and release the negative emotions that are holding them back, and identify and release the limiting beliefs that have been holding them back. That's the most important thing. Some people, it does depend on the individual, of course, because we're all operating kind of like different levels here, but some people actually finish the course being able to tune in like an energy healer to other people, to be able to release their trapped emotions and their limiting beliefs as well. And now that is really, really super empowering, especially if you want to work with your family and friends. So all of that on the online course. So please check it out if you feel drawn to. Let's get on with the cards then, shall we? 3 came out, they're face down. Here we go. The Knight of Swords. Swords, we've just been talking about it, mental processes. Swords are air. They represent the mental processes. Look how fast he is going. When you realize, first Hermetic principle, that the universe, the principle of mentalism, the universe is mental. So you are creating your reality from the level of frequency of your thoughts. If you think the world is an unsafe place, everybody is against you, you've got to work really, really hard and struggle to make anything of yourself in this lifetime, if they're your beliefs, they're actually quite low frequency. And that's going to keep you at the bottom of that chart where it said suffering, in a contracted state, because you feel like you have to fight. Okay. Whereas if you had beliefs that you are the creator, when you understand that, you can then choose your thoughts. So I have a thought about someone and it's not a nice thought. Well, forget them. It's not about them. It's about you. How does it make me feel when I have that negative thought about that other person? It makes me feel contracted. It makes me feel angry or afraid, or resentful or whatever. But me having that thought about someone else or about a situation is actually damaging me. It's actually making me feel contracted. It's making me feel a victim. I'm a victim of my own thoughts. Oh, that's a good title for this one. Don't be a victim of your own thoughts. Don't fall victim to your own thinking. Definitely. So it's got nothing to do with the other people, because they are just reflecting stuff back to us. But do I want to carry around that negativity? Do I want to carry around that anger and that resentment and that fear? And do I want to be in that contracted state? So is there a way that I can look at other people and situations in the world outside of me with a more positive thought? Can I look at it from a soul level? Can I look at it as in, okay, they may have behaved unconsciously. Have you never behaved unconsciously? I think we're tapping into forgiveness here and understanding. And this is something else that I wanted to say as well about first impressions. When we first meet people, or we meet somebody and we have a story about them. Oh, I don't like that person because they did this or they did that. And you're judging this whole person who is a reflection of a part of you. And you're judging them all on one particular incident where perhaps they behaved unconsciously. Perhaps they made a mistake. I mean, I don't like the word mistake. I just see things as unconscious behavior and then more conscious behavior, because everything's a learning curve, right? So it's not like this is right and this is wrong. We want to move away from this duality of right and wrong. That Rumi quote, there is a field beyond right and wrong. I'll meet you there. We really want to get beyond that. So I look at it as in, there was behavior that perhaps wasn't very conscious. Are you going to keep on judging somebody because they did something, one thing, two things, three things, and especially with if there's family members or that have ongoing issues with? Because why do we have ongoing issues with our families? Because of all the baggage, because of all the stories. We've had a lifetime of stories with these people, and those stories we're not in agreement with, and so that's what's keeping us from seeing the divinity within them. That's what's keeping us from, being able to choose more favorable thoughts and beliefs about them. But if we can let go of the stories that we have about people, can we do that? You're changing, you're evolving, you're becoming more of who you are, more loving, more caring, operating from a higher level of consciousness, aren't you? Especially over the last 3 years, right? Can we give that credit to other people? Can we assume that other people have also learned? And let's not just have a quick look at them on Facebook and just judge them on one post. Should we stop doing that? How would you like it if someone did that to you? This is not about them. This is about you and being able to heal ourselves from these thoughts, and attached to the thoughts are negative emotions. So you have a thought about somebody, and attached to that thought is the resentment, the fear, the anger, the bitterness. If you can detach from thinking those thoughts about certain people, just let that balloon go. Shall I put that video in as well? I'll put a link in the description, video in the end screen, how to detach from your thoughts. But just let go of the balloon, let go of the thought, just let go of it. If you need to talk about something or you need to discuss something, you can pick up the balloon and then you can talk about it. And you might say, oh yeah, one day I met that person and they did X, Y, and Z, but let go of the balloon. I'm sure they've evolved since then. You have, haven't you? And they are a reflection of you. Okay, but don't do it for them, do it for you. There is only you creating your reality, and you're creating your reality through your frequency. So by holding thoughts like that about other people, you're actually keeping yourself in a low level of frequency. You're keeping yourself in an unconscious state of being. So if you want to be more conscious about the way you live, then change the way you think about things. Let go of the balloons. Let go of the thoughts that are damning other people. And if we do have these judgments of other people for whatever reason, it was Paul Selig that said, when you judge another, he actually said, when you put somebody else in the darkness, they take you there. That was his words. But obviously what he means is that when you judge another person, you're actually putting yourself in the darkness. You're judging yourself. Okay, so we can either not judge people at all, or we can choose to judge them favorably and see the divinity within everyone and everything. So thoughts, this is about choosing, look how fast he's going, right? And he's protected because he's the knight. So this is how much progress we can make on our path if we can just let go of the attachment to thoughts. I mean, you can still think them. Okay, there are some thoughts that we obviously are still going to have, right? But I see all the thoughts as balloons floating above. And some thoughts are miles away because they're not thoughts that I have. But there are the thoughts that I tend to have are above me. This is the way I look at it. And I can talk about them. And I can pull that balloon in and I can talk about it. But the point is, it's not about not having thoughts. It's about not being attached to them. So if I have a thought about something, you can argue with me till you're blue in the face about this thought that I have. But I'm not going to argue back with you because I'm not so attached to that thought. When you start arguing and the frequency starts lowering, I let go of that balloon. I'm not saying I'm changing my mind. I'm not changing my mind. But I just not so attached to it. It's not such a big deal because when you can release these thoughts, that's where your peace and harmony and tranquility and joy and all these things come from. We don't need to argue our point of view. We never need to argue our point of view because our point of view is just a stepping stone on our path. And people will have different ones because everyone's got a unique road to Rome, path to enlightenment. There are many roads to Rome, many paths to enlightenment, and sometimes we're on the same path with other people, and that's lovely. We can share activities and conversations, and sometimes we're not on the same path with other people, and that's okay as well. They're on a road to Rome and you're on this road to Rome. It's fine. Maybe we'll join up and enjoy the journey again later on, or maybe not. It doesn't matter, does it? Because there is only you creating your reality. And you are creating it through the frequency that you are. So therefore, your number one goal in life has to be to raise your frequency. So that when you raise your frequency, the reality that you're creating will be at a higher frequency. So it'll be more loving, more caring, more conscious. Okay, so what you're looking at from this is a quantum truth bomb. Okay, let's drop a few quantum truth bombs here. But the reality that you're looking at, the life that you're creating, is actually, from a quantum perspective, a holographic projection of your energy. So we have to take responsibility for everything that's in our reality. And if we don't like something, we need to change it from within us, because it's like looking at a giant mirror. So if you're looking in the mirror and you see a blemish or a spot or something on your face, you can't go to the mirror and take it off the mirror, can you? You have to take it or cover it up or do whatever you're going to do with it. It's just an example, you know what I mean? You have to deal with it on you. And then when you've dealt with it, covered it up or done whatever on you, then it will change in the mirror. This is a really important point for people to understand. It's a basic quantum truth. I say basic. It's difficult for us to get our heads around it. There's lots of things that are difficult to get our head around. I often say this: we don't have to be a quantum physicist to apply these universal laws and quantum truths into our life. We don't have to be a quantum physicist. I mean, I'm not a car mechanic, but I can drive a car. I'm not an electrician, but I can switch a light switch on. We need to know how to use these concepts. We don't need to understand how they are created, if that makes sense. There you go. Hanged Man, powerful. He's been coming up a lot lately. Major arcana, spiritually guided. Look, the rays around his head show spiritual guidance. The tree of truth he's hanging from. I think I mentioned recently about hanging upside down, which I've never said before about this card, but for some reason I think it's really relevant. So yeah, have a little bit of hanging upside down, even if it's just your head off the side of the bed. If you are a little bit more agile, try lying over one of those giant balls, or even a headstand. But this is about stillness. This obviously came up, I think it must have been last week. Yes, of course, because it was divine action flows from stillness, the power of stillness. So we're still having a little recap. I will put the link in the description and the video in the end screen for last week's messages as well, because it looks like they're relevant. The importance of stillness, I won't say it all again. You can check out that video. But the other thing about this guy is he's in what I call his 5D flow. So when you're in that 5D flow, you've let go of all of those balloons because you're not attached to anything. So somebody can come up to him and argue with him about a point, and he's just like, yeah, this is my belief. And then someone's arguing with him and he's like, yeah, and it doesn't matter. I'm not trying. You don't need to try and persuade somebody else, because I mean, people don't change their opinions and their ideas and their thoughts and their beliefs because you've told them to, or because someone has argued with them. No, actually, that makes people believe them even more. The only way people are going to change their beliefs, remember, please, that your beliefs and your thoughts are resonating at the level of your frequency. When you raise your frequency, you will then change your thoughts. That's why I'm always saying, if your thoughts and beliefs are not changing, then you're not evolving, because then you see things differently and you're like, oh yeah, so maybe that isn't true what I thought then. Okay, because now I'm thinking this. And okay, I used to not like that person, but now I can see the good in them. I don't have to hang out with them, but I can see the good. You can just change your beliefs and thoughts about everything and everyone. When you raise your level of frequency, when you raise your frequency, your thoughts and your beliefs and the emotions attached to them are going to be at the frequency that you now are. So the more you raise your frequency, the more loving and the more giving and the more joyful and the more abundant your thoughts are going to be, because they're resonating at the frequency that you are. So when he's in his 5D flow, he's let go of all these thoughts. He's not arguing with other people, because that's not going to change anybody's thought. The only thing that's going to change other people's thinking is by them raising their frequency. And how can you get other people to raise their frequency? Remembering that they are actually just a reflection of you. How can you get them to raise their frequency? By raising your own, because they are a reflection of you. It comes back to you every single time. But not only that, one of the ways that people raise their frequency, if you think about it, is when they are shown love. When they are shown love, appreciation, and gratitude. So next time you're in a shop or anywhere, or random acts of kindness. Random acts of kindness. I'm always saying that. Just go and be kind to people. Smile at them. You know, people, you know, like the checkout ladies, bless them. They're always, you know, chatty, and they know what the right things to say, but they're busy. You know, have you ever really stopped to say thank you? I appreciate what you've just done. And not just in shops, everybody, especially your nearest and dearest. Or are you starting to take them for granted? Can you stop and look them in the eye and say, thank you. I really appreciate what you're doing. I love you. Can we start telling other people how much we love and appreciate them, even if they behave unconsciously sometimes, even if they wind us up sometimes? But I'm not telling you to be inauthentic. I'm not suggesting that for a moment. But if you have some level of love, which I think you will have if you're watching this video, because you are a light being of love. You are divine love. That's who we are. So can we share that with other people? When you share with other people the love that you have, the appreciation and the gratitude, it will raise them. If you see that, I see that in people in shops, you know, and I'll just go, thank you, or I'll say something lovely to them. Authentic, of course. You know, I'm not making it up, but I just compliment people if I'm feeling it. Just say nice things to people, and you can see, you smile, they smile, you can literally see that they're plumped up. I used that last week as well, I think. Expanded, and they have expanded. Literally, you will feel them expanding with the love that you're sharing with them. That is how you raise people's frequency. You'll be raising your own at the same time, of course. It's all about love. Love is your superpower. Look at this one we've got. But she's not following this advice, is she? She's definitely not following this advice. So all this positive thinking, no. She's grabbed hold. She's grabbed hold of these balloons. The balloon that says I'm not good enough. Oh, she's holding on to that one, isn't she? She's grabbed hold of the balloon that says she can't afford something. Oh no, I haven't got the time, the money, or the energy to do that. And she's really holding on to that balloon. She's not going to let go of that balloon, is she? She's holding on to the one about I've got no freedom because I've got the kids to look after. I've got my partner to look after. I've got to work full time. I've got to, you know, I haven't got time to do all. There it is. Really attached to it. This is the way it has to be. This is the way the world has to be. Holding on tightly. You have to understand this. You have to believe this. Look how tightly she's holding on to her beliefs. And look what they're doing to her. They're keeping her completely restricted, completely tied up. She's not experiencing freedom. She's not experiencing joy and abundance, is she? She can't see. She can't see the reality of what's going on. The swords going down are negative thinking. The castle in the background represents your goals in life. And she can't reach her goals in life because of all this negative thinking. And she's completely stuck. But there's only her in the picture. There's only her. She's the one that's got herself tied up. You know, if you choose not to think these thoughts, freedom is not given to you from the outside. There are not people outside of you giving you freedom. You give yourself the freedom. Freedom comes from within. If you can believe that you're free, then you will be. The reality that you're creating, the holographic projection that's going to come from your frequency will be one of freedom. So you have to feel free on the inside in order to see it in your life. You have to feel abundant on the inside. I think I can feel galore, galore. I have everything I need and more. I am free. I am safe. I am free. I am secure. These affirmations, believe them. These are some of the affirmations that we install on my online course using the brain integration activities, changing these beliefs that you're holding on to so tightly. We can do practices that help you let go of that balloon, because we want to let go of these beliefs, right? But sometimes it's easier said than done. I understand that. So that's where we need some brain integration, or we need some rituals, some healing technique. We need something to help us believe that we can let go of that balloon, let go of all of these balloons. Oh, let go of the balloons. I think that's the summary, because we want to be like this. And her coming up at the end makes me think that there's still more limiting beliefs. Now, there's going to be lots of limiting beliefs that we've let go of. We might have left the day job. We might have left a toxic relationship. We might be really on our journey. We might be learning healing techniques. We might be expressing our creativity, through our passions, organic fruit and veg, or, homeschooling, getting things started, getting things changing by following our passions. Maybe you make herbal remedies, and maybe you want to write and you're writing about your healing journey. Maybe you're a musician and you just want to play more healing frequencies, I want to say. Maybe you're an artist and you're now actually, you've got the guts now to get your artwork out there. So maybe you are, breaking all these limiting beliefs. I'm sure you are if you're watching this video and you've got this far in it. I'm sure you've been busting a lot of those limiting beliefs. So she's come up at the end to let us know that we still have some more. There's still some limitations within us. And I understand that, because I still believe that we are not dreaming big enough. We're not dreaming big enough because we were so programmed. We were not brought up to think in terms of miracles. Miracles exist. They can exist every day, but your outside world is a reflection of your inside. So if you're not prepared to create a miracle on the inside and shift your thinking and let go of all those balloons, that would be a miracle, wouldn't it? If we can just let go of all those balloons, and then the outside world is going to change for us. The outside world will change when we can let go of all those balloons. Wow. So there's even more stuff to let go of. Let go. On that note as well, I don't know whether the end screen is full now, but I did a video with the lovely Liz Nagel called "What Does Letting Go Look Like?" Because we're always saying let go of the balloons, let go of your thoughts, let go of things, let go of resistance. We're always let go of what isn't serving you. We're always saying these things, but what does it actually look like in your life? And that was a question that I had. So it was a question I asked the lovely Liz, and we did a video on it. I'll put a link in the description, and if there's space in the end screen, I'll put it in the end screen as well. Because this is, there's more letting go. There's more releasing of thoughts and limiting beliefs, just when you thought you couldn't release anymore. But life just gets better and better and better. Which one do you want? He's in his 5D flow. He's not rushing around. Divine action flows from a place of stillness. He's chilled, but he's still getting things done. And life is beautiful. He's hanging from his tree of truth. Or her. Which one would you prefer? What's the difference? Thinking, your thoughts. Wow, that was quite a clear message, wasn't it? Especially the bit I think about, actually you can rewrite other people's stories, those people in your life that you don't like, those people in your life that you want to get rid of. Can you rewrite their story? You can't get rid of anybody, because they are the all that is, and you are the all that is. And there's unity. We don't just get rid of the things that we don't like. It doesn't work like that. In fact, the way to get rid of them is by loving them. It will raise their frequency and they will no longer behave unconsciously. That's how we change things. So you can actually change the story you have about other people and other things, situations in your life. You are the story writer. Rewrite the story. Wow, what a week. So get in touch if you'd like a private reading, and I will be picking at random. I haven't done it yet, but I will be picking at random a winner from last week's video, not this week, from last week's video. If you commented, I will be picking a winner very, very soon. So look out for that. I love you all. Have a fantastic week. Bye for now.